So uh, today in this video we are going to see what is global variable and what is local variable. See, here we have HTML boilerplate, and in this I have embedded this JavaScript file, and this is our JavaScript file. Here our HTML file is running on the browser, and we can see here hello, not this, we should have like this, yes, hello on the console. So it's ensured that our JavaScript file has been embedded in the HTML file. Let's see what is global variable. Before that, we will see what is variable, right? So we know that in memory, variable is a space in the memory where data is stored. Variable is a space in the memory where data is stored. That's it. This is known as variable, and we know that variable changes means the value which has been stored on that place can be changed. Hmm. Uh, See, let's suppose this is our memory. This is our memory, right? And this is our memory. And as I said, variable means a space in the memory. So this can be a space. This can be a space. Yes, this is an space, and here we have stored like 12. This is a space in the memory, and I have stored the value 12 in this space. When we say variable changes, it means that the value which has been stored here, in this case 12, can be changed. So we can change the value 12 to 14. So this is the meaning of variable. Once again, variable is a space in the memory where we store data. When we say that variable can change, it means that the data which has been stored on in that space can be changed. So in that case, it was 12, now it is 14, and now we can store remove this 14 as well, and enter another value here, right? So this was about variables. Now see what is global variable. Global variable. Global variable, as the name suggests, we can say we can see that here the word itself says global. Global means which can be accessed, which is available to everyone. Global means which is something that is available to everyone. Here global variable means the variable which can be accessed from anywhere. The variable which which can be accessed from anywhere. What does access means? Access means this memory can be accessed from anywhere. We can store data here, from anywhere. We can read this data from anywhere. How do we define global variable? How do we how do we know that a variable is a global variable or not? Question: how do we know that a variable is global or not? How? We can simply know that by looking at where the variable has been declared. So if the variable has been declared outside the function, then it is a global variable. If a variable has been declared outside the function, then it is a global variable. How do we define variable in JavaScript? We define using three keywords, which is var, let, and const. How do we define a variable in JavaScript? Using let, var, and const keyword. What is the difference between this let, var, and const? We will see in later videos. So if we want to define our global variable, we can simply say let like number is equal to 12. This is a global variable. Why? Because it is not defined in any function. When we say that this variable can be accessed from anywhere, it means that this variable can be accessed from any functions. That functions may be defined anywhere. Let's suppose we are defining a function fun, which will print simply print hello world. Hello world, right? And let me call this C, and this must be, let me comment. Now let us see the results. So it's printing hello world, right? This is a function. Here I have called this function. It's printing hello world. When we see that a global variable can be accessed from anywhere, it means that this here, this num variable can be accessed from this function. Like we can print here, see here the result 10. This variable is defined outside the function, not in this function, right? In spite of this, we are able to access that variable in this function. Why? Because this is a global variable. It is not defined in any function. Let's suppose here we have another function fun2. From fun2 number, and let us call this function as here. See here it is displaying 10 as well. This here we have used this inside a function, again inside a function, nested function. We are able to access this variable because this is a global variable, right? Now let's talk about local variable. As the name suggests, this variable will be present locally somewhere. Means this will not be accessible from anywhere and to anyone. So what is local variable? A variable defined in a function is known as local variable. Suppose this is a function, right? Fun, and we have defined a number, a variable here. Now this variable has been defined inside a function. This will be known as local variable, and local variable can only be accessed in that function and its children. This is a local variable, right? Local variable. This is a local variable, and now let's see this num2. Right here it is printing 10. This num2 will variable will can access only inside the function and its children. Children means the function declared inside this function. Here we can also access this num2. See here. But can we access this num here outside the function? No. Here it has an error. Num2 is not defined. Why? Because we know that local variable can access only inside that function where it has been declared. Here this num2 variable has been declared inside this function, so it can only be accessed in this function and its children, means this function. This variable now cannot access anywhere except this, but we know that global variable can access anywhere. So here this number, right, can it be accessed? Of course. See here it is printing 10. So this is the difference, that local variable will be available locally to that function where it has been declared, whereas global variable can be accessed from anywhere. It global variable does not declared inside any function. So this was all about global and local variables. Let us take something, what we can say, some more examples or some more experiments within the. Let's make another function which is fun theory. We are printing console.log. This is fun3. Can we access this variable inside this? Let's see. Num2. No. Why it's not giving error? Because we have not called that num3 function. Now here it's giving num2 is not defined, where line number 29. Here line number 29. because this num2 has been declared inside this function, and this num2 can only be accessed in this function. Let's define num2 here as well. What it will print? It will print, you can say this is fun 340. This num2 will be accessed only in this function, and this num2 will be accessed only in this function. Let us, what if we call the num3 function here? Sorry, fun3 function. Again, it's here. The can it be available? No. Num2 is not. Sorry. What is a reference error? Num2 is not defined. Where? Here 31, line number 31. So this num2 can only be accessed inside this function. Even if we call the other functions inside this function, it will not available to other functions, right? Let's remove it from here. Can this function fun2b function access from outside? No. See here, it's not giving the num2. So this num2 function as well can only access be here in this function as well. So this is all about the global and local variable. Okay, no. Let's have another experiment. What if we defined num2 here as well? 90. What do you think? What it's going to print here? From fun2, obviously this number will be this one global variable, but this num2 will be, which one it will print? This one or this one? Let's see. From fun2 it's printing 19, means 90, means this one. Why? See, here we have printed num2, right? The JavaScript will firstly look for num2 in the block where we have printed this whole console.log. Firstly, it will look in this block. Is there any num2 variable? Yes, it is. Then it will print 90. If we remove here this from here, then it will print 90. Why? Because the JavaScript will look for num2 variable in this variable, right? There is no any num2 variable, so it will go its parents. Now, which is its parents? This one. Now it will see, is there any variable here in this block? Yes, it is. It will print yes, it is here. Its value is 20, so it's printing 20. What if we define number here 100? Now what will be here the value? Here and here as well. Let's see. Here you can see it's 119 and here 1020. Why? Because JavaScript will search for number and num2 in this block. Firstly, in this block, it will see, yes, here we have a variable num2, so it will print 90 and number which is 100. So it's printing, right? After that, here it's saying, it's looking the while executing this line, it's look for the number and num2 variable. In which scope? In this scope. And above this and in this scope, is there a number variable? No, there is no any number variable. So it will go out, it will extend to its parents. There is no any parents, so it will look in the global variable. Yes, there is, here we have declared a number variable in as a global variable, so it's taking 10 and printing here. When it's come to here num2, it will see, is there any num2 variable in this block, and above this here. Yes, here we have num2, so it's printing the variable 20. What if this x removed from here to here? See, we have printed num2 before even initializing. It will give error. See, what is the error? Cannot access num2 before initialization. Because when it will come to execute, find this num2, it will look after in this block, and that too in here, above this, above where we have printed. So there is no any above, but it has declared here. That's why it is giving the error, cannot access num2 before initialization. Suppose this is not there, it is here. Now it will print C 1020, this one. When it's come to here, it will see, is there a number variable above this? No, there is no any number variable. So it will see in its parents. There is no any parents. So it will look in the global variable. Here it has, we have declared, so it is print. Now when it comes to num2, it will look for num2 variable. Here in this, there is no any num2 variable. Don't see it because now it is comment, so the comment will not be read by JavaScript. So there is no any variable num2, so it will look in the global variable. Here we have declared num2 variable. It will print num2, which is 20. Here in this case, when it's printing, it start executing this line, it will search for number variable in this block, that too in the upper body. Here is there any number variable? Yes, it is. Then it's printing. Is there any num2 variable? Yes, it is. It is printing. That's why it is printing 190. If I remove this from here, then it will print this one. This is how the this is known as shadowing. Shadowing means if there is a variable with same name in different scope, like this is global scope and this is in local scope, this is also in local scope. So this num2 variable is hiding this one, because whenever I am printing, suppose here, when I am printing num2 here, it's taking this one. So this variable is hiding this variable and this variable for this execution. You can see here it is printing from 1 to 190. It's taking this one. These variables are hiding these two. This is known as shadowing in JavaScript. This is all about global and local variable.